the two types of the regret of saying yes and the regret of saying no. You know, and the no regrets are more haunting than the yes regrets. The yes regrets turn into a funny story after the fact, but a no regret is something you can't ever go back and do.
You're listening to Experience This, a show about the emerging experience economy with your host, Tom Young.
Hi, everybody. Hey, today we're going to do part 2 to our last podcast around the Sundance Film Festival now that we have Shawn and Rohan with us.
Yes.
Yep.
Since now the three of you from our team went to Sundance, we want to hear more of the social stories and your guys' impression as well. We heard from Kiran in the last episode. And want to hear from you guys what your thoughts were.
And you guys went skiing. I didn't. So
we're going to throw in some ski stories.
Skiing was great. Yeah, overall experience amazing. Skiing was great, except for on the first day when one of our friends led Shawn and I down a double black diamond by mistake.
Mogul
run field. It was horrendous. And Shawn and I, probably similar standard skiing, blues and greens, happy.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
we get off the lift and we're going down, beautiful view, nice blue, nice and happy.
Peaceful, happiness.
And then our friend Simon's ahead and we see him at the bottom of the hill and he's doing a stop gesture. He's like, stop. So we stop and we're like, what's wrong? And he's like, all right, so there's a bit of an issue. And he's standing on his skis are just parallel to a pretty steep drop off, which I can't see. So I peer my head over and I just see this steep hill with moguls everywhere. And I look up at him and he's like, okay, I'm going to give you a quick lesson in how to ski moguls.
Yeah.
And it was horrendous.
And there was no way out other than...
Yeah, you're screwed. You have to go down.
So did you guys both, what happened? Did you make it down? Or?
Basically tumbled down. Yeah, the entire way.
I went on a mogul field, this was many years ago, and same thing happened to me. I got stranded.
Yeah.
And I took the skis off and walked down the side of the trail, swearing the entire way.
Yeah.
Funny story. The second time, did you do the same thing?
Yeah, it's the second time I was on my own and I missed the sign. So I actually took myself, and as I was going down and I saw these moguls, I just stopped. I kind of purposefully fell over, basically, and then I took my skis off and walked back on.
The funny part is, because we were doing a nice blue run, and I think you just wanted a nice, easy green one. And we ended the run, and we were waiting for like 5-10 minutes for We're like, where is he? And eventually you come down and tell us the story.
Yeah, and then I pointed to them where I was, up the top of the mogul field.
So anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the Sundance Film Festival. This is your first time there, both of you guys?
Yep.
All right, so when we did the last episode, we talked about the social dynamic and some of the film festival things. So give us a little bit of an impression of what you thought about the festival. How many films did you see? Did you guys see 8 with Kiran, or did you see different films?
A few less than Kiran, because we had the skiing involved.
And someone turned up at 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah, that too. I missed one because of that. But
you had a lady friend?
No lady friend. It was just
one of those stories you can't tell?
Yeah, one of those stories I can't tell.
Okay.
Very annoying when you're trying to get the ticket that Shawn has bought for you out of his jacket pocket, or trying to find his ticket in the middle of the morning at like 7:30, trying to like get him to wake up was impossible.
I don't remember one bit of that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That tells you how far.
Oh, so it sounds like there was a little bit of a drinking involved?
There was just a little bit of drinking. It wasn't anything. It was, we got invited to some house party, which we had to take up on that,
There you go.
Yeah. So that was like a bunch of like just cool people, I guess, interesting people.
Yeah.
And it just ended up going all night. So
when you got home at 6 a.m.?
Yeah, I came home and I had like a bunch of business cards in my pocket from all these actresses and directors.
But the one number he needed was mine because the garage was locked.
That's why you're one of our talent managers for Rumjog Media.
Yes, I do have experience now.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So you saw less films, Shawn?
Yeah, I think I still saw 6 of them. So.
Yeah. And Rohan, how about you? How many did you see? Karen said she saw 8.
I saw about 8.
I think you saw one more than me.
But I did it in like 2 days less because I was skiing.
Yeah.
So I did a marathon. I think more than 3 films a day is not a recommended idea.
So did you like all the films, or was it a mixed bag?
I liked every single one of the films.
Yeah.
A lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of them were like very. There was definitely a few that are like in my top 15.
But you
of all
saw the
time.
movies because you said, okay, I'm here at a festival. I'm going to watch this movie.
Yep.
If you saw like the title and the banner on Netflix, would you watch it? Is it one of those ones you might skip over? And this was really a surprise.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that there's most of them I would watch. Just they have interesting titles. So, but I mean, like Photograph. What do you make of that? I didn't even know until we went in that was a Hindi movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing is you assume that all the films you're going to see are of such a high quality that it almost doesn't really matter too much which ones you get tickets for. You expect it to be good because the barrier to get into Sundance is so high.
Yeah.
So Netflix is a minefield for that because some stuff you could end up, it could be awful.
And we were talking last time on the podcast, I don't know how it was for you guys, but I felt that because the cast, writers, directors were all there at the end of each of the movies that we went to, it completely changed the experience.
It did a lot. It made you feel almost closer to it. Made you kind of want to like it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
And
you do get some stupid questions from the audience at the end.
Yeah.
I think we saw one film where the main character smoked a lot. And there was a guy, he was like, so I've got a question. What's with all the smoking? Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, it changes the experience having them up there.
So after the shows, after the movie, you would go to one of these after receptions? Is that-
Yeah, so most of the corporations have rented out shops, whatever they can find on that small main street, and they deck it out, throw an open bar, have a guest list entry. So we kind of managed to sneak ourselves into an after party with some wristbands that we had from a pre-party.
Yeah.
And went in open bar. Again, there's also some people from the films that are dotted around there.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's in like really good spirits. It's really cool actually. The main street's pretty tiny and packed.
Yeah. I was saying the energy there is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so creative, and even when the celebrities come, everyone just kind of meshes and hangs out. And
Even at that after party, I was talking to a few people randomly, and like one of them added me on their Instagram later, and I find out she has like 20,000 followers.
wow.
And I'm like, okay, so there must have been some sort of influential people out here.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of pictures up here from the main street. Is this what it looked like?
This is
Yeah.
I have some
Yeah.
pictures I took. Looks just like this.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Beautiful place as well with the backdrop.
So, and then the 3 of you plus 6 others lived in a house.
We
Yeah.
did indeed.
Any good stories from that? Kieran wouldn't give them up last time. I'm suspecting Sean's either going to whisper them to me off the air, or you're going to tell me right now.
Oh, I mean, we did have a hot tub. Did you guys go in there?
Rohan did.
Yeah, I went in the hot tub. It was really cool. Really nice. Although when you lean back, you see these huge stalactites that are just like forming on the balcony. And you see this steam coming up from the hot tubs, gently like warming these like massive spikes of ice. But there was no real drama.
No.
I think the most scandalous thing was Shawn turning up at 6 a.m.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. But the skiing's really cool. If anyone's a skier, this is definitely the best time to go skiing in Utah because the slopes are absolutely empty.
And a few people that I like just talked to randomly on the lifts, they liked this a lot too because they liked how empty the mountain was during Sundance. So this is a
Great time to go if you don't want to go.
Yeah,
It is, and we Shawn downloaded the it's called Ski Tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an app on your phone which tracks a bunch of metrics from skiing, so altitude, speed, all these different types of things. And Shawn was, because we were talking about the experience of skiing, and like what my friend said, there's just something so fun about pushing yourself to like the limit of danger and like that exhilaration you get. So Shawn took it to another level, and he got this app, and his goal for the whole trip was to try and beat 80 kilometers an hour, which is just over 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, 50 miles an hour is very important.
Which is crazy.
Did you get it?
He
I
hit
got it.
Wow.
881.
That's nuts.
Yeah, which is rapid.
It was probably one of the scariest because I had at that point just tweaked my leg just a little bit, and it felt like I was I was about to tumble into certain death. It was going so fast.
Did you enjoy it?
But I controlled myself. I slowed down, and I just hope I hit it. And then I checked the app.
Yeah.
So let's delve back to that, because that's at some level, the theme of this podcast is about the experience economy.
Yep.
And so you guys, I think Karen mentioned she would go back again. Would you guys go back again?
Definitely.
And
would,
it was
yeah.
an experience that you enjoyed?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
sure.
apart from the fact that you're in a resort in a nice area, it's obviously all the accoutrement is nice. What was it about the experience that you remember now looking back?
So there's one thing I also do, like even just traveling or anything, is I try to have that rule of like just don't say no to anything, and it's worked out very well for me so far.
Give me an example of when you would your brain said no, but your protocol said yes, and you had fun anyway.
So even at this, from we went to the after party of the movie, and Kiran and Rohan and a bunch of them had called it a night, and I think Gary was the one that said, "Hey, my lawyer's having a house party or something. We can go." And that was just a yes. Let's just do that. See how that goes. And even there, they had left, and they're like, "Oh, we're leaving now. If you want to come." But I was talking to someone, and I was just like, "Oh, you guys go. I'll catch up with you later." So I don't know. I kind of just maybe pushing it a little too much, but I always get good stories out of it. So, and good experiences.
So we also talked about the regret of the two types of the regret of saying yes and the regret of saying no.
Yeah.
And the no regrets are more haunting than the yes regrets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The yes
definitely.
regrets turn into a funny story after
Yeah,
the fact.
exactly.
But a no regret is something you can't ever go back and do.
Right.
Right. So, but you guys had a good time.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really cool getting, because I love films, so it's quite cool getting a sense on some of the people what it takes to actually create a film, and like the business behind actually getting the film out. So it was a really big learning experience for me, especially having my friend there who's a producer, and just listening. I think he said this was the first time he'd seen this version of the film. So he's clearly been and seen like a ton of other versions. And just understanding that it's not just served up on a screen and you're like, wow, that was a good film. There's so much that goes into it. I think that learning experience for me was really cool. And then just getting away and into a completely different place. I think the further away you get from home, the better the experience tends to be, because you just get detached with distance and time zones and stuff like that. So,
and I think this trip had it almost like all well done. We had an awesome group. We had a great, accommodation. We had two of the most fun things to do: watch movies and ski, like all put together. And not even just watch movies and ski. Watch movies and ski at the most elite levels, like some of the best probably the best mountain I've ever been on, and some of the coolest movies I've ever seen in this awesome festival type scene. So this was just the making of like an awesome experience bound to happen.
Yeah,
I couldn't mess this up.
I think with good experiences, you need to have a couple of yeses and then a ton of no's. So what I mean by that is, have you got a roof over your head? Yes.
Yeah.
Have you got your plane tickets booked? Yes. Do you know what films you're going to see? No.
Yeah.
Do you know what days you're going to see them on? No idea. Do you know which bars you're going to go to, or which restaurants you're going to see, or who you're going to speak to?
So we talk about that in terms of just planning a trip in general, about the notion of being open to possibilities, which means at some level you want to plan the bookends of the trip and some of the base infrastructure, like where you're going to stay. But then after that, really not trying to set an itinerary so you have the ability to say yes later. So it's not a no as much as a deferred yes or a game time yes. So we can figure. So we're the whole team we have going out to San Francisco next week, and we have the trip bookended right now, and that's about it so far.
Yeah.
We have a few things planned, but for the most part, it's going to be wide open. We're going to do a lot of deferred yeses, and I can imagine we're going to have quite a few stories to tell. We'll do a lot of podcasting out there, and but again, you guys like this. Back to the film festival. We talked about the Tribeca Film Festival, which is in New York, which is closer to home. Now, I did look it up. It's in the spring. It's
okay. I thought it was fall.
It's in April, I believe, April, May. But we should look at, especially if any of the films that you saw are going to be at Tribeca as well.
Yeah.
Which is possible because they probably have a lot of, they do the circuit, right? You know, if there's a good film, they're going to probably be at Tribeca as well. And we should see if we could maybe go to one or two films as a group.
Definitely.
In Tribeca. It'd be fun.
Yeah, it's a great experience. Would recommend it to anyone, especially to just get more from it than just watching the film.
So you guys originally, the whole thing, the reason you went in the first place, because it wasn't something that you always wanted to do. You had a friend who had a film that made it to film.
Exactly.
Sundance, and so you went to support them and check the scene out.
Yeah, totally.
So are they going to be at Tribeca?
He's done Tribeca. So yeah he's done TIFF, in Toronto, Tribeca, and now Sundance is like the grand poobah of getting into.
So is he going to be at
festivals.
Tribeca this year, or do you know?
I don't think he has a movie. He doesn't have another movie in the works that's being released in April. I'm not sure if his movie that premiered at Sundance will go to Tribeca. That I don't know.
Probably
we'll find out.
Depends on if it gets picked up before then or not.
Right.
But even then, we'll find out from him.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. Any parting thoughts on this? You're going to do it again, though, right?
Definitely going to do it again.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. This one was kind of a whim as well. My friend just texted me, was like, oh my God, I got my film into Sundance. And then literally the next day I sent an email out to a group and was like, we're going to Sundance.
All right. Well, that's great. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, bye-bye.
Hey, this is Karen Bajwa. Thanks for checking out the show today. If you like what you heard, head on over to our website, rumjog.com. If you happen to be in the New York or New Jersey area, come check out our meetup called Digital Disruption. We cover topics like you heard today with a live audience. Lastly, don't forget to follow us on social media using the handle @Rumjog. Talk to you soon.